I went to log into my live stream and found out that it was not waiting for me. So usually I prep these ahead of time and they're waiting for me and ready to go. And for some reason, it did not take yesterday when I prepped it. So I had this all ready to go. Uh, however, it did not, it was not sitting here waiting for me. So I had to create a whole new live stream. So anyway, bear with me as I kind of get coordinated here. It's not going to have the good description and everything right now because I'm going to go ahead and just get into the live so that we are ready to go. There we go. Okay. Well, good morning in the chat. All right. So happy Sunday to everybody. I hope you're having a great day. We are going to plan week 3 here in my plans. So let us get to week 3. We'll talk a little bit about how week 2 went, but here is week 3. And this is the washi that we're going to use. We're going to use this kind of subdued washi from Archer and Olive. And I know it's kind of mixing the gray and the purpley blue, but I think this will end up looking really, really nice. So we're going to figure out how to do that in just a minute, but I want to take a quick look back at week 2 and how that went. Week 2 went well. I really like this whole setup that I had here with the washi and having something at the top and the bottom. It kind of felt very cohesive. I like having this little element over here. I had plenty of room to write all the things that I wanted to write. So I think that we're going to stick with having the bottom of the washi at that 11 o'clock hour. Good morning, Keisha. How you doing this morning? I had a interesting start. So I came in and I didn't come in too early. But I came in to start my live and all of a sudden my live was not an option on my app. So I always get it set up the day before and I did not have it set up. Oh, you're feeling fresh and cold. Oh, cold. Uh-oh. It's interesting here. We're having a little bit of a cold spell on the weekend, but we're going to warm up again here later in the week. So that'll be interesting. I am going to grab this and stick this back in here somewhere. Okay. All right. I really like having this space at the bottom, so I'm going to keep the space. I like having the sleep tracker. I have not been doing these things like I'm supposed to. So we're going to try and see if I can't figure out a better way to put this in my planner this week. My week was pretty good overall. I had a really busy week work-wise. We have a lot of battles with contractors right now, and so it's been a little interesting. How has your week been going? Um, while while you're typing, we watched the movie that we participated as extras in, and we were in the movie quite a few times. So I of course had to do a page here on Friday with the movie title and then some of the shots that we're in. So that's me right there, and that's me right there. This is us sitting right back here and us walking past right here, walking right through the shot there. So that was really fun to watch. There's a bunch of other times that we're in the movie, but so this is just a little bit of an example. But that was really cool. And then we also did some Top Golf. So I wrote a little blurb about the Top Golf here on the days. I'm still getting used to kind of having the days again, and trying to add information to the days. And I haven't been as good about that in this, because I've been off practice for a couple of years now. So I really like having the days again for especially when things like this happen. Having a whole place to put this was great. Um, but I'm not being really, really good about getting into these dailies, um, as much as the weeklies. And then if we look at, some of our tracking is going well. I'm finding I have been coming back here and using the tracker. I'm usually doing it the day after, so I'm not usually doing it the day of, but it's been going well, and I have gone over my step count goal on average. Um, did that work? Okay. Let's see if that holds up a little bit. That picture is terrible. Terrible. Goodness. Oh, there we go. It's clearing up a little bit. Oh no, that's awful. Let me see. Okay, I think I'm back now. There we go. I have no idea what happened. I just swapped Wi-Fi, turned the Wi-Fi off and back on, and somehow that seemed to have worked. Um, so for whatever reason, my phone apparently wasn't getting Wi-Fi. Anyway, I was saying I'm doing all right on the step count average overall, but I'm not hitting it on a daily basis. So I need to do some thinking about how to figure that out. Um, so in terms of how the goals are going, as we go back to this, I am still working on the unpacking the dining room. I haven't really dealt with this yet, other than I have been doing some reading. I'm already through my first book of the year, and I'm about halfway through these next two, so that's going well. um, and I have this one lined up because I have to read this in January. It's our book club book, for January. So Blood of the Earth and The Tea Master and the Detective are both book club books. Um, so in terms of this box, right now only the reading has been happening. I haven't done well about getting these recipes inputted. Um, and yeah, I always have my watch on, so that's how I know the step counts. And some of them are probably less accurate because I don't always have my watch on. There are times that I get up and I walk around without it on. So, um, it is what it is. Same with the sleep count. I get that from my watch. Um, YouTube, I haven't checked in on the stats. I didn't check in yesterday on the stats to see where we're at, but I believe we've added 5 more people, things like that. So that's coming along well. I do need to figure out, with YouTube some ways to get new subscribers. So, so yeah, that's going to be my kind of focus in coming in, is to figure out how to encourage new people to come and visit the YouTube channel. And then I decided to use this page here after the January page. We have these 2 blank pages, and I decided to use this as a what I'm watching. And I did it by platform. So the different colors are the different platforms that I'm watching on. And so Um, so we've got, my library, things on Disney Plus, HBO Max, Netflix. And so I figured this will be nice because every few months, I think to myself, gee, do I really want to keep paying for these platforms? And this will be a great way to see if we're watching the things on the platforms and if we're enjoying them or if we're just watching them because we have access to them. And so that is um, that is what I decided I would use these pages for in January anyway. Um, and so I'm liking that. I think that looks really cute. I like coming back to this page and seeing all the fun stuff that we've watched. So, yeah, I miss doing the reviews and things like that, too. Maybe I do need to bring that back. I've been kind of focusing on planning because I do that anyway, and I have to have that done by the end of the week, but that does make a lot of sense to get back into the reviews and such. But now we are going to start with this, and we're going to start with these washies. Now this washi is huge. If I put this at 11, this goes all the way up here to 5 o'clock and takes up that whole entire space, which is a lot more than what I need to have happen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the blue, and I'm going to put the blue here at 11. And I'm going to put the blue. Now, where did I need the top to start? Okay, I'm going to put the blue so that it's above the 7. Hopefully leave 2 spaces, but we're going to put them over here. There we go. Fits perfectly. So this is an Archer and Olive. I did unbox this. This was from that December box. So I didn't seek out this washi. It came in the December box that of items I did not pick out myself, but I really do like it. It's different than what I normally do. This washi. And then, actually, I'm going to do this on both sides. Top and bottom here. Yeah, colder months, I tend to watch a lot. Um, I out. So that might not make sense for me going forward, like in the next couple months. I'm not saying I'm going to do that every month, but January, probably February, I will probably make it through quite a bit to be watched list. And so it makes sense on those at those times. I moved this all the way down. I wasn't going to do that at 7:30. I wanted this at 7. Feeling a little discombobulated this morning. We had a big, I don't know about you guys, but we had a big pressure drop here in terms of barometric pressure. And that messed with my head. I'm a little headachy from it. I do tend to notice that if the barometric pressure drops a lot, I do get a little headachy. So, hey there, welcome to the live. I love having somebody new. I had the live scheduled as upcoming, and if for some reason it disappeared overnight. So I scheduled it yesterday afternoon because yeah, I do like to make sure that I schedule them ahead of time. But for some reason, it did not work that way this time. Um, I'm going to take this and I'm going to get just a general how much I need here. And I am going to do a tear. We're going to tear this washi. We're going to start at the middle and I'm going to kind of work my way up and over. All right. And I'm going to put this I don't need this much then. I'm rethinking everything, but I do think I want it underneath. So I'm going to go ahead and leave it, and we're just going to put this right on top here. I think I want that color to show underneath. And then really kind of show underneath here. Yeah. All right. And then we'll do less up here, I think. I don't know. I'm rethinking everything. I do that a lot. Okay, let's see. It would also be nice if I had a plan for what I'm going to do every week, but I definitely don't have that. And I stuck that a little too hard. When you're trying to get a size, you want to not push down too much because you want to be able to tear up your washi if you're wanting to do this tearing technique. So, let's see, I'm going to do something that looks very skinny on this side, and then there we go. Let's try that. Okay. I am going to put this one over here because I definitely need the extra time on the during the week. And as it is, that one's going to be a little invasive there. One of the things, okay, so I'm not loving this. Now that I've done all of this, I'm really not loving this. So let's pull this up. So this washi, this really wide washi that I'm using, this is from Archer and Olive. And I really like it, but I'm just not liking the layered look here. I don't think I have quite the room to do that layered look everywhere. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this up. I will save this and use this for my alternate. The ones that I don't use here, I'll use those in my alternate plan with me later. So I'm just kind of tucking them off to the side. And I'm going to use this one here at the bottom. Nope, I'm not going to use that one there at the bottom. I'm going to use this one here at the bottom. Yeah, this one's better. So I don't want to get, my problem that I'm having is I don't want to get too far up into these um, these evenings, because I do things in the evenings and I don't want to have my, it is fuzzy. Why is it so fuzzy? Let me see. Let me see if I can't try and do a little focus here. Hmm. Okay, give me a second. I'm gonna try and okay, there we go. That seems to be less fussy. Okay, there. So one of the reasons I tend not to do these more torn washies is because um, they do take up a lot more space, I find, because I tend to want to use a bigger washi when I do a tear. And so it feels like they take up so much space. Like Monday evening is okay. I'm not really doing anything Monday evening. And so this will be fine, this amount, but any more than that is just going to be too much. So now I'm going to take this one and tear it way down on this side. So I'm taking a lot more away. And I'm going to take it all the way down here. And that will maybe leave me with what I'm looking for. So now I'm putting this one back that I just took up. So I think the look I'm kind of looking for is that this one will kind of reveal this other one. There we go. That should be good. All right, I like that. And I'm going to kind of do a version that's kind of the reverse on here up on the top. So we'll get rid of this. This is planning in real time here. I clearly do not have a plan ahead of time for this. We are going by the seat of our pants, as they would say. So we're going to do the reverse here, and that should be fine. We will start at 5. The reason I figured that this would work well is because I'm usually not up early or don't have plans early on Sundays, Saturday. So even if I'm up, I'm not, in the middle of something on those days. And then let's take this one and start in the middle and kind of pull that, make that tear happen faster. There we go. Just needed to play with it for a minute. And I end up with exactly what I was kind of looking for, which is that. just to kind of have that little peak over here of the blue and then the peak down here, to have just a little bit of color amongst all of this kind of gray pattern here. Now, if you wanted to do a purely grayscale, like I did on that first week here, this would be a great washi for that grayscale, for a grayscale week, just on its own. But I kind of like this, having this pop of color come in. And so we are going to kind of capitalize on that pop of color. We're going to pull a purple because I know this looks, well, no, maybe we'll pull a blue. We'll pull this bluish purple here. And I'm just going to give it a little color over here to make sure that I like that. I do. And then we are going to pull a gray and what kind of a dark blue. This is where my combos start to fail me, and all of my pen varieties start to fail me, is I do not have a really good subtle blue. I have a lot of different blues, but they're all fairly intense. And so finding a good subtle blue is a challenge. They all just have a little too much intensity of color here. So I'm going to do a little, I'm going to pull a little corner of, or not, I will do it on here. I'm going to do a little pen test here to see. That'll probably be fine, that blue. That's going to be my most intense color though, so I'm going to use this fairly, intentionally, I guess. Not sparingly, but intentionally. So we are going to I'm going to put my work block in. And you remember me saying that I wanted to get to it last week. So let's look at what happened last week. Last week, I said that I wanted to get into work at 8. And almost every day, something happened that kept me from doing that. So whether it be, these 2 days, it took me way longer to get to work because there was road construction. And this day, I had to get gas in the car, and my gas tank fill up was long. So anyway, my whole trying to get into work early did not work at all. So I don't know. We'll try it again this week, I guess. So I'm going to put 8 again. We will run right there into that, which is fine. To 4. So we're going to try this again this week. See if we can't make something happen. I don't like going in later, especially this time of the year, because then by the time I get out of work, it is very late in the day. And, by the time I get home, it's get right into dinner time, and I end up getting to bed later because I have things that I want to do at night. And so I try to do them, and then I end up in bed too late, and I don't get the sleep I need, and it's just a vicious cycle. So I would really like to be able to switch up this work cycle to be a little bit earlier. So we're going to try again for that 8 to 4. We'll see. And then I'm going to take this really bold color for my afternoon or evening activities. So we're going to go ahead and put our date night. And my call with my friend Kim. Now, I'm not going to put a bottom on this date night because I don't want to have to deal with that torn edge. So I'm just going to leave it with just the top area marked and then not mark the bottom. I think that'll look better overall. It doesn't bother me that it just kind of dies into here. And while we're at it, it's one of the things that I've been doing because I keep forgetting I haven't done it on camera is I have these little week numbers because that week number is very tiny. And especially in doing these YouTube videos, I'm referencing these week numbers quite a bit. And so I want to have a more pronounced week number. So I have these stickers from the Coffee Monster Co. And I just keep adding those in there. And they're washi, so hopefully that area won't build up too much. But I've been kind of just tucking those in the back here. And I like these because no matter what color I'm using, they're just a neutral. So they won't add any color to the spread if I'm doing a colorful spread. We are going to add in our sleep tracker. Yeah, that domino effect really got me this week. It just was one thing after another trying to get into work early. It seemed like the universe was saying no, not this week. You're not getting into work early this week. And I did notice that my sleep suffered for that. So if we go back and we look at this week, you can see my sleep was just not good this whole week. I did catch up a little bit over the weekend, but not much. I didn't sleep real well the last couple nights. So I need to get back onto my sleep schedule. And my goal again for sleep is 8 hours. So we'll put that in there. Now I have a couple things. Is not wanting to stick because I pulled it up so often. That is not a problem with the washi tape. That is because I've pulled it up a lot. So it's not wanting to stick as well as it normally would. I'm gonna look in. Some horoscope said that the 17th was going to be a lucky day. So yay. So we have that noted in here. But I don't have a lot going on this calendar other than that we have, a payday and a new moon. So let's get those put in. And I'm going to use the gray for that. So we'll put in payday and a new moon. And I do have some stickers that I can use for that because we like our stickers. I noticed that I haven't been using stickers as much, which is interesting to me this year. Because I do like the stickers and I do want to use them. So I find it very interesting that I haven't been putting them in quite as often. I need to get back in the habit of picking up those stickers and making use of them. So I thought that I had pulled out some little money stickers, but apparently I have not. Now I do have this super cute little payday flag here. I could use that. What else have I got? I do have these. If I use the payday flag, will it cover up what I just wrote? I hope. I think so. Yay. Okay. I can do that. Okay. So we're going to use this. Very cute. It'll cover up what I just wrote, which is fine. And then with the moon, I do believe I have a little, it's a new moon, but I have these cute little lunar stickers. So I'm going to just use that for the new moon. Yeah, I've been using some stickers, but not as much as I usually do. So it's been interesting. If we look, I didn't put any stickers in here other than this one graphic sticker here. Everything is just washi. And then on the first week, I did a few, but not many. And this was the what I used for payday that first week up here. But yeah, I haven't used a lot. I did it in some for the Rose Bowl and the Rose Parade because I had little roses. But obviously, graphically, I'm still liking the way it all looks. So, and I do have, I've been using a lot more of the ephemera and other stickers that I've been creating with my sticker printer, but I have a huge stash of stickers, so I want to be using those because I don't want them to go to waste. So we want to make sure that we're actually actively using those things. So let me see what this weather's going to do this week. We had the most interesting week. So if we look back at this week, it was nice all week in the 50s and 60s. And then we got to the weekend and it was cold. And I'm worried. I think that it's going to do that same thing again this week. Yep, we're going to start off the week again. We're going back into the 50s. We're going to go to, here we've got 53 and 37. And then we're going to get back into the 60s here. And then 40s. And then by the weekend, it's going to be in the 20s. I want the nice days to happen when I don't have to be stuck inside at work all the time. That would be really, really nice if it could do that a little bit. Nice thing is that when we get down to these cold temperatures, we don't have, any precipitation scheduled. So that's good. I'm just going to put this over to the side because I use this larger sticker. So there's that. I also know of, right now, I believe I have one work meeting that I know of. Pull up my work calendar just so I can see. Just so I can see what I've got going on. In the next week. Okay, so I just, as of right now, have this one meeting on my calendar, which will be nice because we had a lot of meetings going on this past week, and they were intense. So I will be very happy to be down to just one meeting. I'm sure more will pop up. And one of the things that's kind of interesting to me to when I look back on this is I don't add color. So I put color behind that meeting. When a meeting pops up during the week, I don't add color to it. So if we look back, for example, at this week, I had 2 meetings scheduled for today, and then I ended up with 1, 2, 3 more, and then 2 more over here, 1 here. So I started off this week with only 3 meetings scheduled, and then I had meetings throughout the week. So that's just kind of how I've been doing it, and then I can see when those meetings pop up. And I did not toss that blotting paper in there, so I made that go over. One of the things I've been noticing a lot in on Facebook, people talking about the um, transfer of ink from one page to the other and the ink not drying very quickly. So typically what I will do is if I'm turning the page, I'll throw this piece of blotting paper in here. It doesn't need to be blotting paper specifically. It could be just a piece of regular copy bond paper, from your copy machine. Just cut it in half and toss it in here just when you turn the page like that. Right, and then you can do whatever you're going to do on that page, come right back to it. It's fine. It doesn't really inhibit your ability to work quickly in the planner. You just need to keep in mind that you need to have that nearby when you're doing things. We are going to, I'm going to go back to using my Stadler fine liner, this gray, because I do have gray in this. So this gray will work just fine. And I do like it better for making these fine lines. So that we can figure out what we're reading, watching, eating, posting, all that fun stuff. Over here at the bottom of the page. All right. And I'm going to use the gray for this area. The gray Tombow. It's a very, very subtle gray, and I did that intentionally. I don't want that gray to stand out. I want that to kind of fade back a little bit. And so we have got, how did we do it? Yep, okay. I liked it last week. It was very easy to move through. And so I don't know if you can see this, but this is a little bit wet right now. So if I were to close the book, I usually just do that. I would put this, so yeah, this definitely, this paper definitely takes longer to dry than the Tomoe River paper. that I've been used to. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I have not had a problem with it. I don't consider it a problem. Um, that tends to mean that it takes a fountain pen ink better and gives you more of a depth of color to a fountain pen ink. And so right now I'm just using black, but if I were to go in here with a color, it would do much better on this paper for that reason. So I don't consider that a flaw, but I am mindful of that, of needing um, to have some kind of paper in between. And yeah, I have tons of scraps of paper, so it's not a problem for me either. I always have paper around me. Um, so again, if I want to go back and look at what I did last week, I just take the paper, stuff it there, and we can look and be fine. I liked this. I put long form videos on the top and short form on the bottom. I haven't finished up Saturday and Sunday yet because we did, go for a walk and do some things yesterday. Um, I did this stuff in my YouTube planner yesterday, paying attention to these, and so that should be fine. But I really like this. As I go through, when I finish a book, it gets a dot, and then when I start a new book, it just keeps going. And so this has been down here has been really helpful. And because I tend to do my posting calendar first, and then what I'm reading, I'm doing that, especially the audiobook that's in the morning. And then I don't watch anything until the evening, if at all. This day I didn't watch anything, and then, eating as well. Um, so that kind of all works together well. I like that sequence. Um, I definitely have some space here that I can use. And I'm thinking I might have a very flowery. Oh, you got the document black. Oh, yay. And the blue black is nice. The blue black is nice. I like that. But one of the reasons that I go with this archival black is because I know it will last forever and ever and ever and never fade. So for my main writing in my book, I like to have an ink that I know is not going to fade over time. And I don't think that Pelikan ink will fade, but I don't know for sure. And so I want to make sure that I have something that will last. So I think I'm going to look at these. I have this lady here in purple and her. I got these from, I want to say AliExpress. I just saw them and they were so cute. I don't use them all that often because I often forget that I have them. But they're just so delicate. So that is always a nice one. I could just put that in. That would look nice. Or put this one. That takes up a bit more of the side. I think I like that. So I think I'm going to go ahead and put her in. These are stickers. Oh, you have a wish list of fountain pen ink? That's dangerous. I have a ton of fountain pen inks. And interestingly, I am about halfway through my second full bottle of the Diatramentis document ink. I use that quite a lot. And so I go through, I'm on the second bottle of that, but everything else I will probably be good on until I die. I do not need any more ink. I could probably ink up my fountain pens enough, considering the amount of writing that I do, to have enough to last me for the rest of my life. But it is definitely a fun hobby to have, and I'm trying to get my kids and grandkids interested so that they won't be overwhelmed. They'll be excited about the ink stash that I leave when I'm gone instead of thinking, oh my gosh, it's another thing we have to deal with. Um, so uh, that's my I'm trying to get them interested in fountain pens so they'll be excited about it. Um, all right. I think that is it in terms of my work week. Let's look at so I know that I'm going to have a plan with me again. Keep forgetting to put this in when I'm on the live, even though I know it's happening next week. So there we go. Oh, I'm so glad your youngest daughter is enjoying it. I have given fountain pens to my partner likes them, but you know, he's definitely not going to be using the pinks and the teals and the corals and all the kind of girlier colors. Um, and so, and my grandson, I gave both my grandsons, the older ones, fountain pens, and my oldest daughter has a fountain pen. So I have definitely been working on trying to um, get the family interested. They're just so nice to write with, and especially the Twisbys tend to be a really easy starter pen. Obviously, this pen has been through the ringer, so I have a chip out of it because I throw this in my purse all the time, and I have lost the little red dot on the top that tells everybody else that it's a Twisby. But I have this, the top is this pocket gripper is off center now, and I can't seem to center it again. Uh, it's been through everything, but it is a workhorse. It always writes beautifully, and I'm not afraid of damaging it now. So I'm not afraid to toss it in a bag, a purse, wherever it needs to go. I let people use it all the time, and I don't worry about letting other people use it because I know that it is going to be just fine. Um, and I don't feel precious about it anymore. And so these have been the starter. Whenever I give somebody a pen, it's usually an Echo, a Twisby Echo, as a first starter pen, because it holds a lot of ink. It never dries out. I have Twisby Echoes that I have inked from, 6 months ago that still have ink in them, that'll still write. So I can pick the pen up and write. Now this, for example, my super fancy Pilot Decimo that I so love. I absolutely love this. But if I don't write with this for a couple days, the ink dries up, and there's not a huge um, cartridge in here. So I don't get a lot of use out of a fill. So I tend to not reach for it that much. So the gin house are nice too. I like those as well. I have one or two of those. One? I think I have one of those. And that is a nice pen. But again, it doesn't hold nearly as much. This holds so much ink. Um, and especially if you're giving one to somebody who's not used to having to fill a fountain pen all the time, it's nice to have enough ink. I do a lot of writing, and so all of my work notes I write in fountain pen. This is my pen. that I pick up to write just about everything all, all the time. And I end up having to ink it about every 3 to 4 weeks, rather than, every day or two. So, um, that's my thing on pens and why I always have this one. This one's always with me, uh, and ready to go. I don't think I really have anything else going on this week. This is a very kind of January is always tends to be like this for me, where it's a pretty slow week. So I think that's about it. And I'm kind of pleased with how this turned out. I have a little bit of stickering, but nothing major yet. As things happen, I may add in some more. Um, I didn't feel a need to add in anything over here. I could have maybe added a little golf thing. I think I might have golf stickers somewhere, but we don't play golf very often. Um, but I like the way this turned out. I do need to add in again the other stuff. And so I think this week is kind of going to be the same. It's going to be a fairly slow week, um, as we kind of ease into this new year. And so I tend to not schedule a lot when it's cold out, because dragging me out of the house when it's cold out is a challenge for sure. Yesterday when we went to go to the mall, I was not happy about being yanked out of the warm and into the cold. Even though we were going to go walk inside somewhere, it still felt a little bit off-putting to have to go out into the cold to get somewhere. So that's just me. I'm just not a cold weather person. Um, but I think I like the way this turned out. I was, we have our little balled up washi up here that did not work out. But I like, once I redid the tears and exposed a bit more of this blue washi here, I think it turned out well, and I like that effect. So hopefully we have a good week, and next week, hopefully this live will show up in again as it normally does when I set it up. Again, I did set it up ahead of time, but for some reason it disappeared. So add that to my list of fun technical issues that I need to be aware of now. I didn't even think to check before I went to bed last night because I set it up in the afternoon. So I probably should make sure I come on and double check that again before I go to bed the night before the live. Make sure that it's ready to go. Um, but I hope that you guys enjoyed this. I hope you have a wonderful week ahead of you guys. Hopefully you got your planning done right along with me. Um, do you guys have a busy week? Anybody have a busy week ahead? I know this next week might be interesting. I may be going to Florida to the job site this week. So it may have some interesting planning going on here, but we'll have to see. Everything is kind of up in the air with this job right now. There's a lot of things going on, and so I'm not 100% sure that I will be making it to Florida for this, but that is right now the plan, that at some point in this week I'll be headed that way. So I may get to pull out some travel washi. I am so glad that you enjoyed your extended winter break. That's awesome. And getting to head into your first week back to lessons. Oh, and you get to go to a work conference oh no. There's nothing worse than having to travel when you're sick. I am so sorry. I hope that you get better soon. I keep both fingers crossed for you. Um, that is rough, having to travel in that state. Um, I will I will hope that that goes well for you. And Keisha, I'm so glad that you're going to get back to lessons and that you had a good break and a good time off. It's always nice to be refreshed when you get back into that. Um, can be a little bit challenging. Um, and yes, if you get a chance and you want to, check out the Bulls movie. So Amy, I don't know if you were on when we talked about this, but my partner and I worked as extras on a, oh, I'm so glad they've been a good distraction. Yay. um, my partner and I were in we worked as extras on a movie, and it came out on Friday. And so there's a couple shots of my television. I was taking pictures of my television while the movie was on. But we're here. That's me right there, and I'm here in this crowd scene. And then we're sitting behind the main characters here, and then we're walking behind them here. And so super fun. It's a movie about darts. It's a small town um, movie, and it was really cute. So it ended up being a really sweet, humorous story. And it's short. It's only, I think, 88 minutes. So it's not a lot of time. So if you're interested, I think it's available. You can rent or buy it on, as of right now, I think YouTube or Apple are the two that have it available. So it was cute. It was a really fun experience to get to be part of movie making. I think we spent 4 days in total working in different different capacities on the movie. And of course, while we're kind of clearly seen in these ones, there's a lot of other places in the movie where we're like, that fuzzy blob in the background, that's us. And so, so we saw ourselves a lot more than most people would see us, but it was a neat opportunity. So, anyway, I think with that, I am going to leave this as is and let you guys get on with your day. You used to work in film? That is awesome, Amy. What did you do when you worked in film? That was when I was a kid, that was all I wanted to do. I even went to school for it um, after high school, and then life took different turns. Ah, props and set, awesome. Oh, that's fantastic. I love that. Um, that is excellent. Did you work on anything fun? What was your favorite movie to work on? I am so into movies. For Netflix. Fantastic. That's awesome. When my kids were little, I used to do Halloween costumes with props. So, um, like when my one year, my two sons wanted to be the Blues Brothers because we're from the Chicago area. And so we did for them like fake cigarettes and fake highballs and everything. And they were they turned out really, really good. I was really proud of them. We had fake harmonicas and everything. And they were so good that my mother freaked out and grabbed one of the cigarettes away from my son because she thought it was a real lit cigarette. Oh, very cool. I have not watched Suicide Squad, but I have watched a lot of Suits. So that's awesome. Fantastic. I've probably seen your work then. And the Rihanna's music video. Oh, that's fantastic. Very, very cool. I love that there's something about creating a set that feels like it's real, but it doesn't necessarily have it's a selected reality, I think. Um, because the chaos of a regular office, you have some of that chaos, but it's like selected chaos, right? And I think that it's so fascinating to see what decides to make it in and what doesn't into to shows and movies and such. So that is fantastic. I love it. Yes, the my kids were they always had interesting choices because I'm kind of an eclectic old soul. And so when my kids were sick, they would climb into bed with me when they were little and just watch movies while if they got sick in the middle of the night, and then that way I could sleep. I was a single mom, so I couldn't, stay up with them all night. Um, but I would let them watch old movies. And so they would watch my old Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers movies, old Frank Sinatra stuff. And so, um, for Halloween costumes, my kids were dressing as like Frank Sinatra from Guys and Dolls or Ginger Rogers. My one daughter dressed as Ginger Rogers for Halloween one year. And none of her friends knew who she was, but all of my friends knew who she was. And so it was just quite amusing. Um, but we always had interesting and unique costumes for sure. Um, but anyway, I am going to let you guys get on with your day because I've kept you on this for over an hour now for what's fairly minimal planning for the week. But I look forward to chatting with you guys again next week. We'll talk movies again next week. I'm sure that'll be awesome. And I will see you guys soon. Bye. All right. I'll set up.